Begs the question: your dream car, realistic and unrealistic.
I want to hear his first.
Okay, so if we're going realistic, honestly, like I just really want to complete building my Mark III in the future. I just want to get it exactly how I'd like down the road. I don't care how long it takes, and I don't really plan to sell it unless somebody was going to walk up and offer me an absurd amount of money for it. But that would be like realistic dream car, just slowly build that until it's done. But unrealistic, I'd say I mean, how really unrealistic is it? I mean, you can work for anything, I guess, but
the possibilities.
I'd love like a Countach, like a red Countach with the gold wheels on it and the tan leather interior. Like, I love that car. Absolutely love it.
LP5000S.
Yes.
Oh, what's sorry?
The LP5000S.
Yes.
The gold rims ones, I think, was the second generation of their body switch. Beautiful car.
Yeah, it's got to have the spoiler on it and everything.
Front wing?
Front wing is a possibility. I like it, but I also not totally sold on it.
That's fair.
But,
all right.
That's fair. Full cannonball run spec.
Yeah.
That's realistic.
Dude, that's still realistic. There's still good
yeah,
cars.
it's still possible, but definitely a lot of work to do to get that.
Oh yeah, you got the drive. You'll do it.
Maybe.
Countach kit on your Mark III.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Get a free arrow.
Free.
Ferraro.
Kit car. There you go. I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen it happen, and I've seen it done well.
Yeah, they sometimes.
Sometimes.
Not always.
Not always. But sometimes
bad
done
ones.
well.
Sometimes.
Right. And yourself?
Myself, my achievable car, even though it seems somewhat unachievable to me, but it's still like, I don't know, it's a down to earth. My favorite car of all time is the 1987 Buick Grand National. It's my favorite car.
GNX.
Yeah. Even I would still take just a GN, but the GNX is the tip of the top. GNX with the T-tops on the black Riken meshes. I'd leave it as is. Maybe update the turbo because they were not ceramic bearings. They were steel bearings or something like that, so they had oiling issues. But like that car is the dead split between the turbo techno car era and the muscle car era. Like that car had a presence. No matter where it went, that car had a presence. And then the GNX with its ladder bar, so if you loaded up the rear end, like you put on gas and the brake, it actually lifted the back end and launched the wheels into the ground. So for more traction.
Those things were torque monsters.
They were, and it's a GM V6, which is next to unkillable, with a turbo in a G body.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful car,
and they sound so good.
They really do. Like it's just enough rumble that you're like, that's a muscle car, but just enough whine that you're like, that has a turbo.
Yeah,
I
realistic,
love it.
Super realistic.
It's super realistic, and it's just such a cool car. Unrealistic. Yeah, like it's
Come on now,
gotta
separate yourself from reality. Let's find something unrealistic.
So far off. I was like saying before, it's either the McLaren F1, which is like partially obtainable, even though people are using them like currency now, or like I'd want to snatch one of the one-of-ones out of the Sultan of Brunei's collection, like a Ferrari station wagon or one of the Bentley station wagons, made specifically for Pininfarina. Used to make cars for the Sultan of Brunei. One off. He said, I want to drive my family around London in a 455, and they said, sure, we'll make a four-door one with back on it. And they did, and they gave it to him. The amount of cars that are hidden in that collection, disgusting. This is the same man that when cars wouldn't start, he'd push them off the dock into the ocean. So there's like at the bottom behind the palace, there are like Rolls Royces at the bottom of the oceson because they just he didn't like them anymore.
That's money beyond
money. Beyond. Is it his son or his brother? I can't remember. He has one warehouse of just every supercar that you could. Sauber C9 Mercedes at Le Mans cars in yellow. All of them yellow. Every car is yellow. He likes yellow, so all of them are yellow. Every single car in the garage. If it didn't come in yellow, he got it painted yellow by the manufacturer.
It's crazy.
Like Porsche 917 Le Mans race cars, the ones that they made for the road. There's a couple of them that they made for the road. Yellow.
Nice.
And even worse was if it didn't come right-hand drive, he made them right-hand drive. He has the only Ferrari F40s in the world in right-hand drive.
And yellow?
One of them's yellow, one of them's green, one of them's black, one of them's blue.
Oh, it's that? Okay, that collection there with all the colorful ones.
Yep. That's the car, right?
Yeah,
oh, okay,
that one.
yeah.
That's the one. I want that one.
That's cool.
He wants that one. It looks pretty realistic to me. You know, it kind of looks like a Ford Escort.
A little bit, with flip-up lights. It's such an average car.
Body kit.
Right? But it's such an average car, and it's just like, oh, cool, a Ferrari station wagon just passed us.
The Ford.
Sorry,
what?
You said what? Two things not commonly said in the same
I don't
sentence.
understand. And like cars leak out of this collection all the time. Like you've seen the pictures of probably the green and the blue right-hand drive Ferrari F40s.
Yeah, I was going to say I've seen pictures of the other colored
Those cars
F40s.
got snuck out because they keep some of them in England.
Yeah.
And so when they went up for auction, they go out. And those are the only... Ferrari does not make right-hand drive vehicles. That is not in their realm of reality.
No.
But when the Sultan puts up a lot of money, here you go. You can have whatever you want.
Right.
We're going to give you design cars that we'll never make. You ever get a chance to look up that collection, the Sultan of Brunei's car collection?
Sultan of Brunei.
Blows your mind.
Are you able to like go visit that
Nope.
place? No, okay.
He has an F1 museum. He buys a lot of
Yeah.
F1 cars for after the season's over, and it's probably the largest F1 museum in the world.
Yeah.
That one you can visit.
That's cool.
But everything else just sits there, and it's like there's active people trying to get cars out of that collection because of how significant they are to automotive history.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And they just sit there and they rot.
Like legit run away.
Well, because Brunei's a very hot place, so like some of them, like Ferraris, don't do well unclimatized. And when you've got 17 Testarossas, you can't drive them all the time. But like he'd buy one for each family member in every color, even if they didn't paint them that color. I wanted that color. And he said, okay, no problem.
Everything yellow.
Everything yellow. I think he has a yacht named Tits too. The same guy.
Yacht named Tits.
Yeah. One's like Playboy, the other one's Tits. 2 yachts. I think it's his brother.
His brother. I'm sure
But
he's a nice guy.
it's just wild. Like, but yeah, that car is it seems like such an average car, but it's just such the significance. If you showed up at Cars and Coffee in a factory-made Ferrari station wagon, people would just,
They wouldn't believe
That'd be
you.
the
are you?
show stealer.
who are you?
James?
Where did you come from?
James, is that you?
Hey guys, check this thing out. Anyways, I gotta go to Standard Auto Records, pick up a couple axles or something.
In your Ferrari.
In my
you know?
Ferrari wagon. It fits the stuff. I was just at Bad Boy, dropped off a couch.
You call Parts Source for parts. Hey, I got this. You got a what?
It's a 4-door F355.
Is that manual or
Berlinetta.
automatic?
I need a rear wiper for a Ferrari. A what?
The 355 Avant.
Yeah, my hat struts are not working. Again, pardon?
You said you're what now?
Can you measure those for us? Oh, they're the same as a Focus. Just get me those.
Oh man.
Oh boy.
What about your favorite?
Yeah, what about you?
Your dream cars.
Star of the show.
Man, you know what? Realistic? That's a really tough question.
It is.
I like every single car that I see, with the exception of a few.
That
Like-
Buick Verano behind you?
It's a wonderful car. It is. It's a truly wonderful car. It is. The styling, I think they nailed it. And those are big in the Chinese market.
They are huge. Absolutely massive.
Like-
They come diesel.
Pardon me?
They come diesel.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
The 2.4, however, no. Not a good engine.
Nespa.
Je ne sais pas. All right. So my dream car, realistic, would probably be a BMW, and I'd have to probably go with the G80 M3.
Really?
Realistic, yeah.
All right.
G80 M3.
Yeah, that is very obtainable, very realistic.
Yeah. Probably the competition, of course. That or the M2 competition. Either or. Those are my dream cars. Realistic. And unrealistic, I'd probably have to say, I'd say like a FDR X7.
Yeah? Why is that unrealistic? Just because of the market for them now?
Well, not just the market, but because what I would do to it.
And what would you do to it?
Probably drop a Cummins in it.
Oh,
Yeah,
that'd be neat.
be interesting, if at all possible.
Like a 4BT?
No.
Like a big one. Like a big 24 valve. fucking through the hood looking tractor motherfucker.
You know how much hate I would get?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You just drop the body on the frame on the mega cab and done.
There you go.
Dually 4x4 extra long FDR X7.
Dually. Dually RX-7. You said unrealistic. So
That's perfect.
to the T.
I love it. That's obnoxious. That was also obnoxious.
Yeah.
I agree. Or LS swap Kia Soul.
Okay, that's cool. I'm not even gonna lie. If I Kia Soul sold up with an LS swap and a meat,
But where are you gonna put it, in the front or in the mid?
mid.
Mid.
Yeah, you gotta fill that rear like square
You ever seen
part of the body.
You ever seen the Ford Shogun?
Oh yeah.
It was a Festiva with the SHO V8 in the middle of the car, made by Ford.
My dad knows somebody with one.
Really?
Well, not the Fiesta Shogun.
Yeah.
But he has, it's the early 2000s Focus, that they've
Oh,
done
the
up.
SVT V8.
Yeah, but it's got the
Yeah.
mid-engine in the back. There's the video of it on YouTube. It's
Yeah.
Plato Ford and Lindsay.
I know
He's
exactly
got
which
one.
car they're talking about. The SV, they did a couple SVTs.
It's orange and blue, I
Yep.
believe, or orange and black. Can't remember. But
You guys are obviously, you're a photographer.
I have done photography, yes.
Okay. And you are a photographer.
He's a professional photographer.
He's a professional. So, I guess I can ask your favorite shoots or the cars that you want to shoot.
over in Vaughan, there's a shop called Engineered Automotive. I'm sure a lot of people around here in the car community are pretty familiar with it. They hosted like some pretty massive cars and coffee events over probably the last 5 years or so. So it's a pretty well-known shop. And I started talking to their guy their kind of just manager for marketing and hosting the cars and coffee and whatnot. And I just asked if I could come in for like a tour of the shop one day when like Cars and Coffee wasn't on. Obviously the showroom and stuff's not open during that, just too many people. And he said, yeah, sure, come on down. So came down, got a full tour of the shop, got to check it all out and see all the cool imports and everything in the showroom. And then, I started talking to him. And like 2 weeks later, he's like, hey, I got a bunch of cars for you to shoot. He's like, they're all going to be up for sale. And I was shocked. I mean, never really shot anything of that caliber before for any dealer or any high performance shop. So I was like, what are they? He's like, you'll see. So I came and I got to shoot. It's not like, I'm sure it's not exciting to everyone, but to me, this car is pretty cool. It's a 1 of 39 944 Turbo Cup car. So it was one of the original ones from back in the 80s. So they used to race at Mossport and Montreal, I believe, all over the place. So I got to shoot that one. A 1 of 500 Koenig Mercedes. Forget which one that is.
It was a beautiful.
It was a 500 something.
560 SEC or something like that.
Something like that, yeah. And the coolest part about that is I even got to like move that around. Didn't get to drive it, but I got to move it around a lot, which pretty crazy to think that he was just like, yeah, go for it. And
That's
then
awesome.
the last car I got to shoot was one of the last years of the 928, which is one of my favorite cars, a 928 GTS. Okay. That was a 94, I believe. And it was, how many of those were imported to Canada? I think there was only like a couple hundred, something like that, like 200 or 300. So that was another cool car. That was probably my favorite shoot day of all time, just getting to experience a high caliber shop and what it's like to shoot for them. And
that's pretty cool, man.
It's
something
a
different.
Great experience.
Yeah.
I remember the pictures that you took of that. They were fantastic.
Nice.
It was a great experience. And yourself?
I don't do a lot of like my shooting is all just shows I go to and stuff. Like I'm not for hire per se or anything like that. I just enjoy photography and taking, I don't know,
all sorts of
videos and
photography,
stuff, right? Like all sorts of stuff, like even just doing videos or even Snapchats and stuff like that. Just letting people see what's going on. But probably the most excited I ever got was I got a chance to take pictures of and also drive in an original Lancia Stratos HF. So a Group B rally car for the road.
That's pretty cool.
And this man's collection, I helped a friend do high bay lights in his garage. He's a classic car collector. His whole family is. So they've got, all these like 1924 Fiats and Ducati race motorcycles and, someone's upset. And all this stuff. And that car just like, there's a triple black 427 original 4-speed Corvette. There was all sorts of stuff in this garage in that car. It's like, do you want to go out and have a ride? Do you want to take some pictures and stuff like that? And I got to take pictures of that, and that was just absolutely fantastic. But like from an actual documentary point of view, I think any SEMA show that I got to shoot, I got to take my camera to. Because it's just stuff you'd never seen before.
You've been to SEMA?
Multiple times.
Multiple times?
Multiple times.
It's like the mecca of all car shows?
Yes, and depends on what you want out of the car scene. But like for new parts, new builds, and the tip of the top for quality, that's the end all and be all. That's where all the big names go. Everybody builds cars for SEMA.
So it puts our Durham car meets to...
Yes and no. Like, I mean, I'm sure you've seen the Instagram pages of the Bluetooth drive shafts and all the big pickup trucks and stuff like that. Guys rushing to get weld jobs done and stuff. And some of these cars are not to the highest caliber, but they look good. But then you delve into the show and you have PPGs there, and they brought lowriders from the 60s and stuff like that with all the hand brush. They've got guys doing pinstriping on cards to hand to you. Like, oh yeah, this is PPG paint, House of Color Orange, Tangerine. Have a nice day. And these are like guys that used to work for like Ratfink, like they're Ed Roth level stuff. Moon Eyes, like all this thing. Toyota comes there and brings fully restored Camrys from the 80s because they did every generation of Camry up until the TRD NASCAR Camry on display.
That's so
awesome.
cool.
And then the parking lot is like, they had, what's the Australian guys on YouTube? Mighty Car Mods?
That sounds right.
I think so. I think it's Mighty Car Mods. They did a Subaru Ute.
Oh yeah,
So
that,
they cut
that
the back
is them,
off.
yeah.
That was there. And like Roadkill. They had the Bob truck that they did that does the wheelies, and they had that stupid chain drive supercharged Charger that's like 4x4 lifted with the superchargers on chain drive off the motor. And like you see stuff like that, you're like, these are cars you saw on TV. Farm Truck, the dragster off of Street Outlaws. That was there. And like they're getting their own show now. Stuff like that. Like you just cars you never thought you'd ever, Liberty Walk, Ferraris, things like that. Like just wild. And so to get the chance not only to see those, but then to document that as well. And like cars that are now Hot Wheels.
Yeah.
Like that, the R31, the red R31 that you can get as a Hot Wheel.
Yep.
I've seen that car in person. I was there when they unveiled
That's
that
a
and
pretty
gave
cool
him the first
experience.
one.
Yeah.
The
That's
owner.
a pretty cool experience.
He's a super cool guy too. Same thing with the
Hakuska
the white
GTR.
one with the blue. He owns the same.
Yeah, I have that one at home.
Yeah, I've seen that car.
That's pretty impressive. You've seen a lot of things.
I've been It's like one of those. Was the movie Yes Man? If you just say yes enough times, you get into some pretty weird spots. Yeah, I have a picture. I could send it to you, and I didn't realize at the time I'm in this picture eating dinner with these guys from SEMA. It's Larry Chen from Speed Hunters.
Yeah.
The two people who picked the cars for Need for Speed. Like, blew me away. And then a couple other big writers for other car blogs.
And you're just there eating.
Well, I'm just eating dinner because my friend knew Larry Chen, so he's like, we're going to go hang out with these guys. And I remember sitting down next to these people, and this one lady goes, so what do you like about cars? I was like, everything? I'm like, who are you? I'm like, oh, we're the brand managers for Need for Speed. We pick the cars. You pick the what? You pick the car. You put the cars in. You put the cars in Need for Speed. Do you realize that's Need for Speed's why I like some cars? I would be really happy because I was that kid. I watched Horsepower TV on Saturdays. You know, my uncle had a subscription to Car and Driver, and I absorbed every piece of information I physically could. I read these guys up and down. That was the things I loved. And that's what got me there. The guys giving thumbs up from their cool cars on the highway, and now we're the guys giving thumbs up from our cool cars on the highway. There's a kid stuck to the window, and I had the Harlequin.
Yeah.
So many kids giving thumbs up, and I'm just giving thumbs up back. Like
or you're driving down the street, and kids just like, wow, what is that? Yeah.
I was that kid.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of nice to be on the other side of it now, and that's why we have to that's the other reason we were circling back to originally, where it's like the car shows have gotten kind of out of hand for some people.
I agree.
I don't want a kid to think that that's how cars should be. Like you don't have. It's not competition is not a bad thing. Drag racing's fun. Even building things to be competitive is fun, but to shit all over it basically, and then you coming in thinking that's how it is, that's rough. When it's not that way. There's so many better aspects. Like our Thursday meets, even going to the steps, like with all the classic car guys.
Yep.
Like, those communities are so vibrant and so welcoming and so supportive, and it's a shame to see anyone come in with such a bad attitude off the bat, because they will get eaten live.
100%.
That's part of the thing. I obviously younger than both of you, and that's kind of the other thing I found when I started going to car meets and stuff. Right, bring my car, and it was like go to the local car meet with all the young guys, and made some really good friends there too. But there's definitely a lot more judging going on, a lot less acceptance, people looking at it like, oh, that's some old Volkswagen. They like it, but they're not gonna bring you in as if you have a new Scion FRS or something, right?
The Hellcat guys aren't gonna come over and be like, wow. They're gonna be like, yeah, my car was $90,000. How much was yours?
Yeah. Versus the first time I ever came to one of the Thursday meets, it was kind of showed up. And also, I met some of you guys before that, but then to meet more of you guys was everybody's just kind of became a family, really. Everyone shares the same passion. Nobody's there to judge each other's cars. No. We all joke around about some things we don't like on each other's cars, of course, but not
I
hurtful.
think the worst thing is just getting a BMW, wrapping it, and throwing some wheels on it.
Terrible.
And put it on air ride, right?
The worst thing.
There's this one purple one in the Durham region. It's fucking just so annoying.
Popcorn
just
tune.
Absolutely. I don't know what his dad does for a living, but he's putting a lot of money on his child.
Yeah, it's got
that kid, yeah. I could. And his truck, oh, wow.
Small penis.
He's always towing.
It says overcompensate on the license plate, right?
You know, I wanted to do that, but I feel like I'm already a target.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. James, in your time, you've had quite the builds.
I've had 44 cars.
44 cars.
Yep.
What is the worst thing anyone's ever said to you about a vehicle in your possession?
So I had a 1991 Volkswagen Golf 4-door non-turbo diesel. Mm-hmm. Slow, low, just a good little car. Mm-hmm. And I was coming home from work one day from downtown Toronto. I was on King Street, like going through the beaches. Mm-hmm. And I was like 3 seconds too slow off the light for this one lady. So she hit me. She bumped the back of my car with her brand new Mercedes. So we pulled off to the side, and like my bumper's bent down, rebar's screwed, this and that, what have you. I'm like, this is gonna be like a significant amount of, like, you're talking $1,500 in parts because you can't get them for this car anymore. She's like, that can't be right. I was like, well, I'll get a quote from the body shop and we'll go through insurance. She goes, oh, no, I've hit too many cars with this car already. Like, I don't want another claim. Can we go through cash? I was like, yeah, that's also not a problem, but I'm gonna still get a quote for you. And we'll get my car fixed. I love my car. I absolutely love that car. So, you know, get the quote, send them. Month goes back and forth with this lady, blah, blah, blah. And eventually I got her husband involved. And I was like, yo, she still hasn't paid. Like, I said $1,500. We settled on $700 because I was like, whatever. It didn't matter. I got bumpers for free at that point. So everything was a plus. And her husband got involved and like, can you just please send me this money? Because like I still have a police report and everything. Like I can still go to my insurance company and I can really royally bone you guys. Like, I'm trying to be nice. Trying.
Yeah. And
he's like, yeah. So I get a card in the mail. It's a birthday card with $700 in it. Because I guess she wanted it to seem like, you know, not a thing. I don't know how sketchy these people were. And it says, sorry, hope you can buy a better car with this.
Oh, man.
Like, I just sat there with $700 cash in my hand looking at this birthday card that just told me the $700 could buy me a better car. I was like,
Was she right?
I mean, I could, but that wasn't the point. The point was, I'd never been that offended. I've had people tell me my cars are slow, rusty, old, busted, ugly, like,
you pride
smell
yourself
bad.
in that.
That's fine. I have the weirdest of the weird most of the time.
I had a cop ask me one time in my car. We pulled up to a red light, and he's like, "Oh, Daddy, buy that for you."
Oh my goodness!
In the politest way possible, I said, "You wouldn't believe what I had to do for it."
See, that's good. The quick responses.
Yeah. The guys, there's two cops in the car. They did, same humor.
Oh yeah.
The car didn't bother them. They were cool guys.
No, that's always good.
We had a good laugh about it.
Yeah, that's the favorable experience in that scenario. That's awesome.
Yeah. That definitely made my day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ding ding, we have to reel it back. Caden, what's the worst thing anyone's ever said about your car to your face?
Honestly, like, haven't had anyone say, like, deliberately, like, to my face, like, a bad thing. I was with a group of buddies one night. We were just hanging at the McDonald's parking lot. And there was a few of the guys, like, I never really talked to before this, friends of friends. And they were, like, looking. There was, like, 3 of them around my car with one of my buddies. And the guy's like, hey, he's like, I really like, all the generations of golf. He's like, I really just don't like this generation. And I'm, like, standing, like, 15 feet in the background. I'm like... Well, I'm like, that's too bad for me, I guess, but that's my car.
I never knew when you were going to bring that up, and I'm very sorry.
Didn't really bother me. It was more so just like, okay, cool. Like, that's your own decision.
That's like your opinion, man.
Yeah. I also do not like your FRS that is sitting there. Sorry.
Oh, so it wasn't me.
Yeah, I caused the hole in the floor of the Mark III. It was soft. I was vacuuming it in the springtime, stepped in the back, heard a pop. I was like, nah, I don't know what that was. Then later on, I was like, what are all these orange flakes on the carpet? Started vacuuming. I'm like, oh, that's daylight down there. That's cool.
And that's the ground.
Like, that sucks. And then my dad's idea of a solution for now, which I didn't do because the hole's a little too big for that, was, why don't you just get some RTB sealer and a pop can,
Perfect.
Rip it open, we'll just seal it up.
That's actually that's a quality fix.
It would work if it was a little smaller, but I'm like, it's a pretty big strip. So
I mean, it's better metal than the Mark III's made out of.
Probably.
Galvanized aluminum.
Unfortunately.
Like, there's a lot I would do to my car personally that I would not consider. No, and
I would never on someone on someone I either respected, loved, or was paying for. None of the things I've done to my vehicles would ever happen.
Exactly.
However, I don't love myself. I'm not paying for it.
I think the key is I don't love myself.
Here's the deal. I'm willing to die. I'm gonna look really cool doing it. Oh man. Going out in a blaze of glory.
When I hit those train
Make
tracks
the
and the
news.
floor drops out under me, it's gonna be a good day.
What happened to James?
Turn on the TV. Local man falls through floor of pickup truck on highway. Results at 8.
Like I will admit the best thing that had ever happened to me was getting hit by a drunk driver in my 2006 straight pipe Honda Accord.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a carbon fiber wrapped gas tank cap.
The real
Yeah.
mod.
That's my favorite mod.
Classy dip wheels.
Real mod.
That's my favorite mod though, when people wrap the gas tank.
Only the gas
cover,
door.
but just the gas door. It's like,
So
why?
I call it the lick and stick special.
that car saved, or that accident saved me.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you are the man you are today.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
That was the first and last Honda that I owned.
Well, I mean, I was talking to him before. I got hit once in a Mark III. 17-year-old girl hit the lady behind me who hit me and pushed me 10 feet through an intersection, totaled my car. I broke a nardy with my face. I broke an $800 steering wheel with my face. And I had to be the adult in the situation because it was a 17-year-old girl who just got her license who hit a pregnant lady while she was texting. So I had to be the adult, even though my car that I just finished putting air ride on, Euro bumpers, Euro hatch, Euro everything, nardy steering wheel, and now every part that was worth money is now bent or broken. And I had to be the one that's like, I had to call an ambulance for this pregnant lady. I have to deal with this 17-year-old that rode off her grandma's van. I just got in my car and I called my mom. I'm like, Mom, they wrecked my car. She's like, are you okay? I'm like, that's not the point.
Did you get it fixed?
No, actually, I paid $700 for that car. I got $1,600 from the insurance company. I bought it back for $300, and I parted it out. I kept the air ride and all that jazz. Everything that was like, I had GLX leather seats in that thing, Pink Floyd stuff, Cabrio 3.5 dash, all sorts of crap. Took it all out, scrapped the car for $500.
Quite the build.
Yeah, I enjoy it. If it had nice wheels on it, it was going to be perfect. Yes. And then it was all taken away from me. But we rebuild.
That's what insurance is for.
Exactly. That's why I pay so much money. And it wasn't my fault, so that was nice.
Did anyone get in trouble?
The girl got so many tickets.
Oh, wow.
And her dad showed up and he was hilarious because he's like, see, that's why I wouldn't let you drive my car. He looks at me, brand new Mazda CX-9, just off the lot, turbo model. I'm not letting her drive that. I told her I wouldn't let her drive that. Look, she goes to her grandma's van. And this girl's already having a miserable day. And her dad's just like, yeah, that's why I didn't let you take my car.
That's why I lock up the keys to the CX-9.
The CX-9, the hot rod.
That is my Rolls Royce, the CX-9.
Just button making payments 96 months. You believe that?
Oh man, some of the new finance options I see, I'm like, how do you get yourself into that one?
No credit, no problem. 96 months down, at 96 months we'll refinance it.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning into this week's podcast of Tuning In. Thanks to our guest, Caden Beatty.
Thanks for having me.
And Mr. Gigawatt James.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
This was
thanks.
a pleasure.